Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Leo Be the Lion Show. Today, I'm going to be bringing you a Wildcard weekend preview of picks for the NFL Wildcard weekend. This is the second year of the new playoff format, where one team is going to be the only team to get the bye, and the other 6 teams in each conference have to play each other. I'm also going to be talking today about a little financial literacy. I want to start slow into FinLit because it's very important to me. I really think that it's important for children of all ages to be financially literate and adults to be financially literate. The more FinLit you can get, the better that you'll be at managing money, the better that you'll be at knowing if somebody's trying to pull the wool over your eyes or trick you when it comes to money. And the better you manage that money, the more peace of mind you can have. At least you'll know where your money is. So first we'll start with the wild card preview, and then we'll get into the FinLit portion. I call it FinLit because when you learn financial literacy, it's fin to be lit. Like it's really you will take off when you can rub elbows and when you can get into those circles where you know your finances are in check or you at least know what you're talking about. It'll help you. So FinLit is important to me. So let's get right into it. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Wicked, wicked, boom, boom. It's the Leo Be the Lion Show. Gonna tell you what you need to know with football or FinLit, yo. I'm gonna tell you what you need to know. When it comes to FinLit or football, yo, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. So you need to listen and look for show. I'm going to tell you what you need to know. Stay tuned to the Leo Be the Lion Show. I'm going to tell you what you need to know. Guaranteed, you can use this info. All right, let's get right into it. Our wild card weekend preview. It's going to be a great weekend. I can tell there's going to be some upsets. There's no way it's going to be all chalk. And chalk, if you don't know what that means, chalk means all the favorites win. So that's usually an old betting term that means chalks mean all the favorites win. So let's go forward with this. So the first game that I see against the spread is the Raiders versus the Bengals. It's in Cincinnati. The Bengals locked up their division week 17, and it's in Cincinnati. The Raiders are coming off that emotional win. And I think Joe Burrow has that kind of it factor. We've seen it when he was in college with the national championship, winning those games with LSU. We've seen it in other aspects of his play. So I really think Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, and the Bengals are going to get it done. I'm going to take Cincinnati minus 5.5 over the Raiders. Next pick is the Pats versus Bills. Bills are 4-point favorites, and I really think that I'm trying to not go with my heart here. My heart wants the Bills because I don't like the Patriots. If anybody's going to win, I'd rather it be the Bills. So my heart wants the Bills. But I really think that the Patriots, it's going to be a close game. So I think the Patriots will cover. I'll take the Patriots +4. Then 49ers versus Cowboys. I think the last time, or back in the 90s, the 49ers and the Cowboys had some great playoff matchups. If you think about Deion Sanders being in San Fran, winning the Super Bowl in San Fran, and then winning the Super Bowl in Dallas, and they played each other in the playoffs in back-to-back years. So that's really kind of cool. I've always thought about it. Deion's one of my favorite players, and I've always thought about that, how in that 2-year stretch he won those Super Bowls. So the next game, and I'm going to be taking the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys. Dak wants it more than anyone. He's really going to be ready to play. I really think that the receivers, and then, they have Micah Parsons and their defense is on this year. So I'm going to take the Cowboys -3 against the 49ers. I don't think Deebo Samuels will be able to do as much as he did or has been doing these past few weeks against that Cowboys defense. Next pick is Steelers versus Chiefs. Chiefs are 12.5-point favorite according to ESPN, and they get theirs from William Hill Sports Betting. So I'm gonna take the Steelers +12.5. I really think Big Ben He's got that playoff savvy. Tyreek Hill's been off lately. I really think that the Steelers and Mike Tomlin are going to get it done. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think that the Steelers are going to probably win like a 18-15 type game, some crazy type scoring game, just because it's gonna be so tight towards the end, maybe 2017, something like that. So I'll give me the Steelers. Next, I'm going to take the Bucks -8.5 over the Eagles. I think the Bucks are going to win. Actually, let me scratch that. I'm going to take the Eagles +8.5 over against the Bucks, because the Bucks offense lately, they did show out last week, finally in the second half, but I think that the Eagles are going to come ready to play. The Eagles have one of the best offensive lines, and it's not like college where if you're Michigan and you have the best offensive line, you look like crap against Georgia's defensive line. It's not like that. It's the NFL. So I'm going to think the Eagles to cover the 8.5 against the Bucks. The last wild card weekend pick for your wild card weekend is the Cardinals versus Rams. The Rams are 4.5-point favorites, and I really think that Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are going to get it done. The Cardinals have an underrated defense. The Rams defense, we all know about that Rams defense. But you can't have a quarterback like Matt Stafford throwing 3-4 picks a game, throwing terrible interceptions. I think I'm going to take the Cardinals plus the 4 points. So my picks, just a quick recap before we get into the FinLit aspect of the portion of the video, is going to be the Bengals -5.5, the Pats +4, the Cowboys -3, Steelers +12.5, Eagles +8.5, and the Cardinals +4. Those are my picks for Wild Card Weekend. Now let's transition back into FinLit, financial literacy. Like I said, it's an important subject. Everybody, you're always going to deal with money. No matter what you talk about in school, no matter what subjects you learn in school, you're going to need to know money math. So let's talk about budgeting 101. The first thing you need to do when you're budgeting, so that you can know where your money is, so that you could possibly save some money or see where you're spending too much money and cut it down. The first thing you want to do is get organized. You want to organize all your income, all your everything that you're taking in. Income means the money that you get paid from your job, the money that you get paid from the side hustle, the money that you get paid from your allowance, whatever money that you get paid, that's your income. Then you want to have that on your budget. The next thing you want to do is figure out who you have to pay. Do I have to pay child support? Do I have to pay for TV service? Do I have to pay for water, light? Do I have to pay for random bills that I should have canceled long ago, like LA Fitness bills or something like that? Do you pay for those things? So you make a list. Just get organized. This is like a little rough draft. You make a list of all your income. For most people, they just have their job, so their income is their job, their monthly income, boom, they put it right there per month. You can do it by week, bi-weekly, which is every 2 weeks, every month, every quarter, which is every 3 months, or annually or biannually. There's so many ways to make a budget, but the important thing is to make a budget and to look at it. So after organizing your income and your expenses, anything you have to pay bills for, and the things that happen every month. Now, these are fixed expenses. So if you're talking about, when I say fixed, that means it doesn't change. So every month, like for instance, I'll give you every month I pay the housing bill, whatever my rent is $1,650. It's gonna get paid every month because that's part of my expenses. If I pay the power bill. The power bill is a certain amount every month. The water bill is a certain amount every month. The cable is a certain amount every month. That is called fixed expenses. Those are things that you can get organized and understand that you're going to have to pay for every month. So you got your income, you got your expenses. The next thing you want to do is to take your income and subtract the expenses so you can figure out how much money you have left over after each check or after the month. With the money's left over, this money is the money that you're gonna have to use to spend on clothes, shoes, food, other things that aren't bills. These are variable expenses. Variable means that they can change. Some months you might not spend any money on clothes, so then you might have more money for coffee or for lunch or for savings or for something that you want to buy down the road so you can save. So the second step after writing down the budget is to see what you have left over. Seeing what you have left over is a great way to gauge, where you're at. Because if you don't have a lot of money left over, you got to look at your fixed expenses to see if there's anything I could cut. It's not about cutting that Starbucks coffee, that $5 coffee. It might be about cutting that $40 a month cable bill, or it might be about cutting the $40 a month Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, blah, 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 subscriptions. You have to make those choices. Those choices are called trade-offs. I'm not expecting everybody to be rich and they can pay for everything they have. I know this is FinLit for the people. This is not FinLit for Donald Trump. This is not FinLit for Bill Gates. This is not FinLit for Jeff Bezos. And I call him Bezos because Bezos, they're all overrated anyway. But the key is you have to stick to your budget. You have to know what things can I cut out. Can I cut this down maybe? Can I say, okay, in 6 months, my lease is going to be up. I'm going to try to move to a more affordable place. Or I know in 6 months, my lease is going to go up, so I need to be ready. I need to be able to trim the budget somewhere else. So there's lots of things that you can do with the budget, but it's just a great tool because if you can access it, what I do is I set it up every month. I have it monthly. I set up my budget, and I have it on an Excel spreadsheet. Every month I do it. It's actually Google Sheets. Every month I do it. When it starts, like this next month was January 2022. I had December 22. December 21. I copied 21 as a duplicate tab. Then I renamed it January 2022 and put all my information. Updated the dates when everything was due. Updated the dates when I would get paid. Checked my paycheck to see if the amount changed at all, because every year the tax amount might change, the withholding amount might change slightly, so we want to check that as well. And I'm able now to realize, okay, after I pay all my bills every month, this is how much I have to spend. Or after I pay my bills every check, for these next 2 weeks, this is how much money I have to spend. This is how much money I can save. This is how much money I can spend. And it really helps me because it helps me to build for the future. I can know, okay, this month I'm getting paid 3 times. I might be able to save a whole check from getting paid 3 times in 1 month. So the way the budgeting is, you can play around with the budget to make sure that it works for you. But also, don't think that you making a budget, your money woes are going to change. Your money woes are going to go away, or your habits are going to change. You got to work at it. You got to organize it, and you got to stick to the budget. Knowing where your money is, knowing the balance, knowing what things are coming out, what things are going in, that budget helps, because we all know that when you look at your bank account, you might see a certain amount in there, but then, oh yeah, the car insurance is coming out in 3 days, or the car insurance was supposed to come out today, but it hasn't hit your account yet. When you have the budget, you can be more realistic of knowing what you're gonna expect, so you don't have any unexpected things. And don't let banks do it for you. It's better if you do it for yourself, because if you say, oh, I'm gonna go to PNC and do the budget, or Wells Fargo or whatever, do a budget, it's better to do it yourself, because you'll have the pride and you'll have the peace of mind knowing, okay, I did it myself. I know exactly what it is. I know exactly how the plan is set out, so that if I do come up with any unexpected expenses and unexpected bills, I can go to my budget and make sure it's there. So this is Leo B. the Lion signing off. Just wanted to recap real quick about the Wildcard weekend. I really think it's going to be a great weekend, full of football games, full of great games. I think they're all going to be pretty close. The only blowout that it could be, I think, is perhaps the Bucs versus the Eagles. Even though I picked the Eagles to with the points 8.5, I really think the Bucs Tom Brady might show out against the Eagles, especially since he's lost to them in the Super Bowl. And as far as budgeting and financial literacy, aka FinLit, because it's gonna be lit. It's fixing to be lit when you figure out this financial literacy game. Trust me, you gotta budgeting 101 involves setting up the budget, organizing your income and your expenses, and sticking to it so that you know where your money is. Because if you don't know, who's gonna look out for you? So you gotta do it yourself. So Leo be the Lion signing out. Gonna get you right. FinLit, baby.